everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Beth with Create with Beth, and today I have a Christmas card that we're going to be making. This is the card that we're going to make today, and today I'm actually going to do the card from start to finish. A lot of the time I try to do a lot of steps ahead of time to make the video shorter, but I know there are a lot of people out there who are beginning card makers excuse me, who aren't quite sure all the steps and want to learn them. And so this video is for them. If you're a seasoned card maker, this is all going to be old news to you. So you might want to fast forward past the bits that you aren't interested in. But yeah, I'm going to be doing it from start to finish for those beginners out there. So we're going to be using a couple stamp sets today. And I'm using this Merry Christmas stamp set and Wishing You Joy stamp set from Stampin' Up. And so let's get started here with the bits and pieces that we're going to need. We're going to start with some cardstock. This is Real Red from Stampin' Up. I'm going to get my trimmer out here. So this is an 8.5 by 11 inch piece of cardstock. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this in half on the 11 inch side. We're going to cut this at 5.5. Set the other piece aside. Then we're going to turn it to the 8.5 inch side and we're going to score it at 4.25. So it's half this way. And my trimmer has a score blade on it, which makes it really convenient for doing that. So we're going to set this aside for now. Then we're going to bring in a piece of garden green cardstock, also from Stampin' Up. All of my supplies are from Stampin' Up today. And we're going to cut this to 5.25 by 4 inches. So we'll just put this back in the trimmer. Measure at 5.25. Turn it and cut it at 4. There we go. So this makes a little mat for our cardstock, for our front of our card. Okay, next we're going to bring in a piece of pattern paper. And this is from the Christmas Tags and More 6x6 Mix and Match Specialty Designer Series paper pack. And I'm using this really pretty plaid design. We're going to cut this piece to 3.5. By 5 inches. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do some stamping now. I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is going to be cut for our inside piece of our card. And we're going to cut this to 5 inches by 3.75 of an inch. I think it might already be 5. Yep. So 3.75 of an inch this way. There we go. And that, I believe, is all the cutting we have for now. We're going to do some stamping right now. So I'm going to set my trimmer aside. And we're going to bring in a scrap piece of basic white cardstock. And actually, no, we are going to cut that. Sorry, I did have one more to do. We're going to cut this one at 4.75. This is going to be our focal image for the front of the card. By 2.25. Okay, so we have that. That does not look right, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Let me double check the measurements on that, because that is not looking right to me. So that is actually, it's 4 4 3/4 is right. Okay, that is the right measurements. I must have messed something up when I cut. So let me get another piece of basic white cardstock. Not sure what I did there, but it does not look right to me. Checking to see if I have any scratch that I can use. This might work. Okay, let's try this again. So it's going to be 4 3/4. Let's see. It's just almost right. Almost the exact amount that we needed. Then we're going to turn it and do it at 2 1/4. That's still not the right. Okay, why am I getting a different measurement here? I'm not sure why I'm measuring. It's 2 1/2. Sorry. Okay, I can't see obviously. 2 1/2. So I think we're okay this way. This is 4 3/4, and this should be, that's exactly right, 2 1/2. Okay, so we have this piece. All right, sorry about that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bring out my foam mat here. And I'm using this as a cushion for my stamping because when you're using photopolymer, it's good to move my pieces here. It's good to have a cushion because you don't have, when you're using a red rubber stamp, you have the cushion in the stamp. And with the photopolymer, you don't have that. Sorry, I've got stuff all over the place here. All right, let's get this stamp out. This is a big, bold, beautiful stamp. I really, really love it. I love the font on it. And it will just about fit on my block here. Okay, I'm going to use real red ink. And we'll go ahead and ink this up really good. We want to get a good, solid red image here, so you want to make sure that you're good and inked up. And I got a little bit on my block here. I'm going to clean that off so we don't have any oopses. Okay, we'll try to get this straight. You're just going to stamp it right in the center of your cardstock, and that looks perfect. Now this real red ink will stain your stamp, which is unfortunate, but it does not affect the ability of the stamp to stamp beautifully. It's still going to stamp. You're just going to have this pink stained stamp. So we're going to set this aside. That's a little bit crooked, but we're going to go with it. And then I'm going to bring in the inside panel for the card. And for that, we're going to use the, let's see, what did I use on this one? Can't remember what I used. Sending You Cheer. And it's totally okay to mix and match your sentiments. The font, you don't have to always have the same matchy fonts. In fact, I think it makes it look kind of cool to change it up. So we'll go ahead and mount that stamp and ink it up in the real red again. There we go, Sending You Cheer. Clean my stamp off. We can put the real red away now. Okay, we're going to start assembling this card. So we're going to bring our card base back in. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it on that square line and get my bone folder out. And we're going to give that a good burnish so that it lays flat. And then we'll bring in some liquid glue. Oops, and you know what? Before we get too far, I did want to take a piece of our pattern paper here and put it on the bottom of our card. I have a scratch piece here. I like to decorate the insides of my cards to bring the outside into the inside, give it more interest. So I'm just going to put the glue on the bottom of the inside of the card and then adhere this. Just like so. And then we will turn it this way and trim off the excess. All right, there is that. Now we'll go ahead. Oh, and I put it down. Look what I did. I put it on the inside of the card. I meant to put it on the inside of this panel, but that's okay. We can still glue this down. I don't know. I didn't have enough coffee this morning or something because I'm messing up all over the place. That still looks kind of cool. So we'll adhere this to the inside of the card, just like so. All right, now we're going to come in with our garden green panel. We'll adhere this down. And you can do this layout with so many different colors. You don't have to do traditional Christmas colors. You could do pastels, you could do blues. It would all look really cool. All right, next we're going to come in with our plaid pattern paper. And that's going to go right in the center. Just like so. Okay, before we mount our focal image, we're going to actually put this onto some real red cardstock so that we have a little bit of a mat behind there. And I'm not measuring, all I'm doing is putting it on the cardstock with a little bit of a border. Just like so, and then we'll bring our trimmer back in. And we're going to trim this just to leave a tiny bit of that border. If you don't like measuring, this is an easy way to do it. And I need to replace the blade on my trimmer. It is not cutting very well at all. Okay, so we have that piece now, and we'll go ahead and mount this to the front of our card. You could pop this up on dimensionals if you want to. I'm keeping it flat. I think these would be a really great card to make your Christmas cards with because it's going to go together so quickly. Just like so, like that. So cute. And for our final touch, we're going to add these real red and white adhesive backed peppermint, peppermints. I'm going to get my take your pick tool out and we'll just put these around the sentiment. One there. These are so cute. And they're not too thick, so they shouldn't increase the postage or cause a problem that way. All right, there is our card. I love how it turned out. I love those little peppermints. Here's the inside. Here is our original. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and will give this a go for yourself and see how it turns out. All right, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.